Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Journey Across the Galaxy. We are continuing our adventures towards Beagle Point, having already completed our passage through the Galactic Center from the bubble way back over here, and continuing on towards our destination on this side of the galaxy. Let's go ahead and get off the ground, up into space, and on to our next destination. If you are just joining us for this particular journey, our goal is to increase our exobiology and make tons of money so that we can eventually buy a fleet carrier and kind of just stay out in the black, if at all possible. So let's go ahead, hop into the next star system. The kind of regular sequence that we do is we'll hop into the system, check the system map, see if anybody's already explored it and, you know, kind of made our job easy for us. And then after that, we hop into the full spectrum system scanner, check and see if there's any high value scannable planets there, and then, you know, if there's like 15-ish or less bodies, we'll actually do a full-on scan of the system looking for biological signatures. So you'll see all of that as we continue on. The other side of these videos is that I typically tend to try to find something to talk about. In the last video, we talked about the upcoming ship variants. So I guess for this video, I should probably talk about my thoughts on the upcoming power play changes. Obviously, we don't really know what any of those are going to be. There's only one body in the system. It's going to be the start, so we're just going to move on. Obviously, we don't really have any serious idea as to what those are going to be. At least I haven't heard any, you know, serious rumblings about what the power play changes are going to be. And to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't spent very much time at all in this game since I've been playing it over the years, even thinking about power play, because for the most part, they made it like everything else. They added it as something that is a gateway to you getting to the content that you really want to get to. So, for example, the only thing I've really used power play for was to get my prismatic shielding, which I think I might actually have on this ship. I don't actually remember. I don't remember. Do I have prismatic shields on this ship? I don't remember what ship. Yeah, prismatic shield generator. So, you know, you have to complete a power play item to be able to do that. So, you know, I participated just enough to get access to that specific item, and then I haven't thought about it since. So that's the, you know, power play for the most part, unless you seriously have some kind of specific reason for doing it, is a completely useless mechanic and provides zero benefit to the game outside of, oh, I need this one specific item, so let me go join this faction for a month so that I can get access to it. And, you know, supposedly they're trying to come out with ways to make it so that the power play is actually something useful and worth participating in and of itself. So, you know, something where you're going to want to participate in it because it's a cool new thing that you can do and it provides you with some kind of sense of fulfillment. You know, that's cool and all. As somebody, that's cool for those people who are interested in the, you know, kind of political aspects of a game like this, participating in the actual world process itself, participating in the virtual politics of everything, participating in all of that. You know, actually, there's too many bodies in this system. Yeah, 27. We're not trying to scan all that. You know, if you're interested in that kind of gameplay, then obviously this update is going to be welcome news to you. You're going to be super interested in it, and you're going to want to, you know, you're going to be looking forward to when that comes out. For someone like me who has zero interest in the factions or politics, or, you know, the struggle for control over the bubble and things like that, it's, you know, it's a completely useless mechanic to me. And you know, I know there's a lot of other people out there like me who think the way that I do, where, you know, we're in this for, you know, we're just here to play a game. To be perfectly honest with you, if this didn't have to be on a server and I could just download the game and you know, enjoy it by myself, I'm perfectly content with that. I would prefer it to be that way. I much prefer single player games. You know, and that's like that. It's like that for virtually every game that I play. If I could have played, the only reason I played World of Warcraft is because it was the only game that was as good as it was and provided the kind of gameplay that it did. So if you wanted to play a World of Warcraft style game, you had to play World of Warcraft. And the only way to play World of Warcraft was online, because they made it online. If there had been a reasonable single player option for World of Warcraft, I pretty much played World of Warcraft as a single-player game. I just had to be online and connected to do it, and that was, you know, it's just the way that I am. And I know there's a lot of other people out there who are just like me. They would prefer to just play the game by themselves without having to deal with other people's drama and ridiculousness and all of that. So, you know, being forced to play games like this where I have to be connected to a server and all I really want to do is just play by myself. It's over the years it's been extremely frustrating. This move to online gaming is, you know, it's been workable, but it's not the way I prefer things to be. So I say all of that because I'm giving you kind of the mindset of people like me who, you know, we don't have any interest in the social aspect of these online games. We play them because they're the only option available for something like this, where, you know, where you're able to do the kinds of activities in this game that you can't do anywhere else, or, you know, the game, I know there are other space games that you can play that have mechanics like this, but the ones that I've played have not really hit me the same way as Elite has. So, you know, it's just one of those things where you have to take what you can get, and what we have is online gaming. And online gaming is the most popular version because most people do want to participate in that let me play with other people kind of thing. Me personally, you know, so like I said, the point of all of that is directed at the power play thing. You know, power play is something that you're going to be doing where you're either dealing with real people or virtual AI people in a way where you're kind of manipulating the galaxy, and that's a politics kind of thing. And I have zero interest in the politics. I just want to get in, fly my ship around, and enjoy space. That's why I come here. I have no interest in the actual lore of the world. Not really. Like, it's cool when you come across little nuggets of it, but I'm not like dying to understand the factions, to understand the history of the galaxy as displayed by this game. You know, it's not really something I'm particularly interested in. So, just like all of these combat updates that they've done over the years, where they're really trying to, you know, cater to the PvP crowd or combat-related crowd or things like that, you know, they continue to come out with things that are related to that. I mean, if you look at Odyssey and you look at really what they focused on, yeah, exobiology had some cool stuff in it, but realistically, their focus was on creating a first-person shooter in space. That's what Odyssey really, really was. The exobiology was more of a, yeah, we got to make sure we're giving something to our exploration guys, but for the most part, you know, everything, the vast majority of everything that they did related to combat in some way, whether it's, you know, assaulting a base or assassinating a dude or, you know, infiltrating your way and stealing some stuff which would likely lead to combat if you screw it up. You know, things like that. You know, and that's fine. I'm sure that's probably their core demographic, but that's not me, and that's not a lot of people like me. So when I say that these features add nothing to the, well, we're only 8 minutes in. I'll target this. No, I don't want to. We're only 8 minutes in. I want at least 2 biological signatures, so that way we make sure we're not getting just a bacteria. So, you know, and that made me lose my train of thought. I know I was talking about first-person shooter in space and that kind of stuff. And, oh, yeah, so when I say that, you know, these features that they're coming out with are completely useless to someone like me, that's what I mean. It's, you know, it's hard to get excited about new features when every new feature they come out with is something that, you know, doesn't add to the stuff that I do. And, you know, you could say, well, do the combat stuff. Well, you know, I'm not really interested in the combat stuff. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to explore space. So, and, you know, I'm not particularly interested in the, I guess we'll move ourselves out of the way a little bit, see if maybe we can catch whatever that is. You know, I'm just not very interested in the, all right, moving on to the next one. Right there. So yeah, I'm not very interested in the thing that the power play that they're coming out with. So, you know, what could they do to make the power play interesting? To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know what they could ever do for me to make the power play something that's worth my time. Because the only reason that I would have an interest in participating in power play is if I get something out of it that benefits me, and the only way they could really convince me to do the power play is the way that they did it in the first place. Put something valuable behind it that, you know, I want it bad enough that I'm willing to put up with the social aspect that, or the political aspect that they're asking me to participate in. So realistically, for a lot of people, the way that they did it is the only way you're going to get them to participate. No valuable planets here. You know, I personally can't envision a scenario by which they create this system that would entice me to have any desire to participate in it. Obviously, it would be great if they made it something where, you know, the people who enjoy that aspect of it are able to participate in a way that has a meaningful effect on the bubble. But realistically, you know, unless you're the kind of person that wants to hang out in the bubble and wants to do all of that, you know, you're going to be doing all of that kind of stuff. It doesn't really make a difference to you. So I get a lot of comments, or at least back when I was talking about, when I did my video on my thoughts about the updates, and I said, you know, this absolutely has nothing to do with me. You know, I got several comments talking about, well, how do I? I'm trying to think about how to word it. It was mostly something along the lines of, you know, I'm ridiculous for thinking that it has nothing. It doesn't offer anything. It's like you're taking my words and you're not hearing me. I said it has nothing to do with me. It adds absolutely nothing to the game the way I play it. And people just don't seem to have the ability to separate, you know, separate another person's opinion from their opinion. Everybody has to, you know, some people think that other people have to agree with you, and I don't get that. I don't understand why people can't just let people have an opinion that's different from theirs. So, anyways, yeah, this episode is primarily about, you know, my thoughts on the power play system that they're coming out with, and, you know, like I said, there isn't really much we can talk about when it comes to that because we don't really know what their plan is. Supposedly, they're doing a completely new overhaul, and, you know, what does that actually mean? Does it mean that it's gonna be completely different from what it is now? Or does it mean that they're going to just make some big changes to it to make it more reasonable? Or, you know, what is their... As I say, you know, people's definition of major is going to be different depending on their point of view. So, you know, their definition of major is going to be different from my definition of major. You know, they might be thinking... change this thing and change that thing, or are they completely redesigning it from the ground up? I don't remember. I don't watch their live streams because I don't have the patience to sit down and listen to somebody talk for a long listen to a single person talk for however long those things are. And I like to be able to fast forward and work my way through things. So I don't really spend time watching live streams because, you know, I want to be able to fast forward to the interesting parts. Let me get this sixth one here. Because this says 8 probes, I'm actually going to sit and wait for this one because I'm not sure if 6 is going to be enough to finish this planet. When it says 8 probes like that, that means it's a pretty big planet. All right, I think it's going to be okay. Okay. Just a little bit concerned that wasn't going to work out. Okay, so, you know... The problem with trying to any kind of speculation about developer plans is that, you know, developers in general don't like to reveal too much information because if they end up having to make plans later, a lot of fans just don't have an understanding for the business aspect of how these games work. You know, you come out with a plan for something that you want to do, and then you tell your community, oh yeah, we're planning on doing this because we think it's going to be cool. But then you start working on it, and or something happens financially with your company that prevents you from even getting started with it, and now you have to say, oh well, we're not going to be able to do that now because this thing happened. And or you start getting into it and you start realizing, oh man, what we really wanted to do has to be scaled back because we don't have the resources or ability to do what we said we were going to do. So no matter what the developers do in an effort to try to let the community know, hey, we want to do these things and we're going to try to do these things, but it may not work out. Even if they went out and explicitly said that, there is a large segment of the gaming community who is going to take what they say as, no, 100% we're doing this. And they don't understand the nuance of, hey, this is what we want to do. It's not necessarily how it's going to turn out. And people get really mad when the developers say, oh, we want to do this thing, and then it doesn't work out. They feel like they were lied to. Now, obviously, a lot of the hate is justified. The developers have definitely done things where they said they were going to do something and then, just completely ignored it. Now that's different. But, there's a reason why developers in general are hesitant to release too much information about the things that they're trying to do because they want to have room to backpedal if they need to. And in my opinion, that's perfectly reasonable. There's no reason why we should hold developers to the point where, they say they want to do something, they say they're working on trying to do something, and then when it doesn't work out the way we wanted to, or they have to abandon it for whatever reason, that's unreasonable on our part. On the other hand, when you have features that have been promised for a very long time, and, they won't just explicitly say, hey, this isn't something that we're going to do, and they never get around to, closing that loop or whatever, and they promised it towards the beginning of the development process, then, that's a different story. All right, so we got another water world here, so that's good. There's few enough bodies in here that we're going to see if we can find some biological signatures, because that would be, well, never mind. No, we're not. I mean, we'll try to find some of these ones if they're close to us, but I mean, that was over. That was very far. That I'll show you again. I know some of you don't catch it as I'm going through it. This segment of systems over here is 263,000 light seconds away. That ain't happening. That's just not happening. So we'll check out these ones that are close, but realistically, all right, yeah, that's probably it. Because all of these, yeah, that's too far away. All right, so let's go check out the water world over there. We'll get that scanned, and then we'll move on. We're getting a lot of water worlds. I'm not used to coming across this many high-value planets. Normally, I don't find them this often. So we're at the 18-minute mark, actually, and so we'll get this planet scanned. The next biological signature that we come to, I mean, realistically, by the time I get this scanned and we move on to the next system, we're going to be past the 20-minute mark, so it might make sense. I mean, I don't even know how many jumps we did today. We'll do another jump or two just to see if we can find maybe some biology to go scan, but realistically, we don't have too much time left for this episode. So, I do my best to be rational in my arguments for things, but, a lot of people disagree, and that's fine. You're free to have your own opinion. Everything I state here on this channel is my opinion. And, I try to base my opinions on available knowledge, logical thought, a bunch of different variables that make sense to me. And I do the best I can to come to an opinion that's reasonable. But at the same time, you can't know everything, and you don't always think about every aspect of things until people bring it up to you. So I appreciate those of you who slide up into my comments and want to let me know a different aspect of something that maybe I didn't think about. That's absolutely appreciated. But if you get the thank you for contributing to channel engagement, that means that your opinion was rude and unreasonable, and I have no interest in arguing with you. So if you get that response from me, that's what that means. That's exactly what that means. That means, yeah, thanks for contributing to my channel engagement, but I'm not interested in discussing this with you because you're not being reasonable. So we'll hop into another system or two, see what we can find, and hopefully we will be able to find some decent biological signatures, because the whole point of all of this is to rank up our exobiology. And it feels like lately we've been either getting a lot of stuff or nothing. Like, I remember a few episodes ago, I still remember a few episodes ago, we had 2 planets next to each other. One of them had 6 biological signatures, the other one had 4 biological signatures, and they were like next door to each other. I was like, geez, that's insane. But then after that, we've had little onesie-twosies that have like single biological signatures, and then they always come up when I'm not willing to stop. Like we saw that single biology planet that popped up. I think we might actually go ahead and stop here and scan this one, because as we get towards the end of an episode, obviously we're going to become a little bit more desperate to find something. So we'll go ahead and... wait, I'm confused. Okay, we'll go ahead and find something here if we can. Okay. How far away is this? That's too far away. All right. Well, unfortunately, you know what? We're gonna go ahead and do one more jump. See if maybe we get lucky. And if not, we'll just find a planet to land on and go ahead and call it a day.
4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's see what we got in this one. Hopefully, it'll be a nice small system that has biology in it. That would be sweet. Ourselves turned on. I always like to turn this way because it lets me see the star pretty well. I always like looking at the stars when I go through them. Alright. So we have an ammonia world. Alright, well, we're definitely going to scan that. We're definitely stopping in this system one way or another. So now we just need to discover if there's any biology here. And if not, we'll just land somewhere. Come on. Wait for this to go away. We're looking for biological features up there in the top right of the screen, if you haven't been able to follow that yet. Oh, there's still another planet there. Oh, there's a couple planets here. Dude. Alright. Mildly frustrating when you just can't seem to find what you're looking for. Ugh. So there's still a bunch of bodies left. It means there's probably one that's like far away. No, that was not far. Must just be a bunch. Yeah, there's a bunch of moons around this guy. Alright, that's fine. So we'll get these scanned as quickly as possible. Geological. More geological. I have a feeling that all of these are going to be geological.
System scan complete.
Alright, well, I guess we're going to head over to that water world, and then we'll find a body to land on, and go ahead and call that a day. Get ourselves over to this. Get that done as quickly as possible, and then move on. So I guess next episode I'll try to talk about the brand new feature that they're planning on coming out with. I've watched a couple of videos and read a couple of things where people were conjecturing about that, but you know, I need to save some topics for future videos, so I'll hold off on talking about that particular subject for the next video, so that you guys have something to look forward to. You know, assuming you even care about my opinion. I have to caveat that when I say things like that, because obviously, when I say that, I'm talking about the people who actually sit down and watch my videos, and they actually have an interest in listening to me talk. If you're one of those people who just came into the video and you're hearing me say that, it's because I say that because I do actually have people who are interested in my opinion about things, you know, few as they may be. I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything. It's just, you know, there's people that care. So, I want to give those people a reason to come back. And if you're enjoying this video, I want to give you a reason to come back. And if you're not enjoying this video, as I say to everybody who feels the need to leave a comment letting me know that they didn't enjoy my video, there is a really awesome feature on your browser called the back button. And it allows you to leave a video without saying anything and go find something to watch that you actually enjoy. So feel free to use that button and, you know, keep your opinions to yourself. I know all that's going to do is just encourage the trolls to say something. That's fine. I don't care. It's just you know, I'm always going to say that's always my response to people who come in with you know, negative comments about my content. It's like, if you don't like my content, you don't really need to say anything. You can just press the back button and it'll allow you to go find another video that you can actually enjoy watching. Not every video is for everybody, and just because you didn't have fun in a video or you didn't agree with what the person has to say, unless you found it truly offensive for a good reason, there's really no reason for you to leave a comment or even a dislike. But, you know, engagement is engagement. I don't really care. The point is that you will always get the response you'll get from me when you say that my content is lame or you whatever reason. It's always going to be, well, there's the back button there for you. You don't actually have to sit and watch my video. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and forcing you to watch me. That just, like I said, it just boggles my mind when people get on here and think that they have to let me know that they didn't like my video. It's like, I don't care. I don't care if you don't like my video. I care about the people who enjoy my content. Those people I care about. The rest of you, you're not helping me, so why should I care? Why should I care about your opinion about my content? At the very worst, you're contributing to my channel engagement. You're helping me when you put comments like that down there. So clearly, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Even a dislike is helping my channel because you're interacting, you're engaging with the content. So for those of you who, you know, have this really strong need to, you know, where I think a lot of it just comes from, they think that they're going to like somehow make a difference on the channel by saying something about it. Yeah, if I say this, something will change. And it's like, no, it won't. All you're doing is helping my channel when you do that. Okay, so we're gonna get here on the ground, and as usual, I'm gonna try to stop by the Terminator over here so that we can have a nice view of the star, get ourselves set down, and close out this episode. So, and as I've said multiple times before, I really wish that I could just have it set full throttle all the way down and the ship will automatically adjust and make sure I'm not over speeding for these landing sequences. Does this one have an atmosphere? Oh, I didn't realize it had an atmosphere. It doesn't have a, none of these had biological features though, right? Yeah. Weird. I'm not used to seeing, even the ones that have life on it, I'm not used to seeing a thick atmosphere like this, so this is kind of weird. Alright, so I need to get, let's get pointed toward the star, I guess. Man, there's like no, I guess we can try to land over here somewhere? Kind of trying to not land over there on the left side where you can see that ridge of mountains, or the ridge of the crater there. I'm trying to land where we can have a nice view of the star in a relatively flat spot. So let me get down over here and then we can be done. And ideally, we'll be able to find a nice easy flat spot over here. So the only thing about running around in a medium ship for exploration is you got to keep in mind that come on. You have to keep in mind that landing is going to be much more difficult than it would be if you were flying a small ship. So the only thing, I think the only thing I slightly regret about using this ship for exploration is just the fact that it makes landing so much harder. And for, you know, for someone like me who doesn't want to waste a bunch of time messing around with the SRV, that's, you know, that's an issue. All right, let's get our landing gear down. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to click that like button so the YouTube algorithm knows that you did and sends the video out to as many people as possible. Your participation really helps out with growing the channel and lets the YouTube algorithm know that it's a channel that's worth growing. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your video feed and you will be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members do get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click that join button, check out the list of perks that will become available to you should you choose to join the channel, and decide if any of those are right for you. I want to make sure that I get you guys out of here on our standard standing on top of the ship view, so give me just a second to get over here, get turned around. Again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you guys had lots of fun, and I'll see you for the next one.